as we also try to understand the binomial system of naming, we want you to be able to tell us something about an organism just by looking at its name, because the names are coming from a particular point. Now, Carolus was so much in love with providing these names for organisms that he decided to have a Latin name for himself. In fact, his original name was Carl von Linné. Carl von Linné. Now, it's important that you know, because once upon a time, students were asked to name this person, and anybody who wrote Carl von Linné got the mark, and anybody who also wrote Carolus Linnaeus also got the mark. Now, I'm sure those of you who glossed over some of these names in literature were found wanting. So let us continue by saying that Carl von Linné, or Carolus Linnaeus, established the binomial system of naming, and he was so fascinated by the idea of providing Latin names for the organisms around. Now, let us look at the importance of classification. First of all, it allows us to appreciate diversity of living things. It gives us the opportunity to realize that we have so many organisms around, and there are so many relationships that exist. So, for instance, if we look at the reptile, let's say the lizard, and then we look at the snake, any resemblance in there, we could look at the scales they have, but one has limbs, the other does not. So, how come we have a certain appearance here and a certain appearance on the other side, yet we call all of them reptiles? Now we can look at birds. Some of them have a lot of feathers, others have very little feathers. That is what we mean by diversity, so many of them. Now, classification also helps us to name organisms. Now, that name would allow us to communicate with a lot of ease. In fact, some common names or local names, as we may term them, may not be applicable in some other places. And so if you come with that local name that you know, and that happens to be another thing in my language, then we are in trouble. And so by providing these acceptable names, standardized, internationally accepted, when I communicate and I say, in this particular presentation, that I am looking at Caia senegalensis, then everybody understands what I am talking about, because Caia senegalensis is referring to a particular organism without any doubt.